is English Podcast 365. Speak better, understand faster.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of English Podcast 365. I'm Emma, your guide through the ups and downs of learning English.
And I'm Leo, here to keep things real and fun. Today's episode is a juicy one, tackling a question that we hear all the time from English learners across the globe.
Exactly. It's the big one. Why can I understand English, but I just can't speak it? Let's get into it.
You know the feeling. You're binge-watching your favorite Netflix series, catching every word, you're laughing at memes on social media, following YouTube tutorials, maybe even vibing with podcasts like ours.
But then, when it's your turn to open your mouth and say something, poof, your brain hits the brakes. The words vanish. You feel like you're back at square one, stumbling like a beginner.
If you've ever felt that frustration, trust us, you're not alone. This is one of the most common struggles for English learners, whether you're in Brazil, Japan, Germany, or anywhere else.
So today, we're diving deep into what's really going on, why this happens, and most importantly, how you can break through that barrier and start speaking with confidence.
We're not just going to give you theories. We're sharing practical tips, real stories, and science-backed strategies to help you turn your understanding into fluent, fearless speech. Let's get started. First things first, let's clear up a big misconception. Understanding English and speaking English, they're not the same skill, not even close.
Think of it like cooking. You can watch cooking shows all day, follow recipes in your head, and know exactly how a dish should taste. But when you step into the kitchen to cook it yourself, that's a whole different ballgame.
Exactly. Listening and reading are passive skills. You're taking in information, processing it, and your brain is like, cool, I get this. But speaking, that's active. You're creating something from scratch. Words, sentences, ideas on the spot.
It's like the difference between watching someone ride a bike and riding one yourself. You can study the mechanics of pedaling and balancing, but until you're on that bike, wobbling and maybe falling a few times, you're not really learning to ride.
And here's the kicker. Just like biking, speaking takes practice. Not just once in a while, but consistent, intentional practice. You wouldn't expect to master a bike after one ride, right? Same goes for speaking English.
This disconnect between understanding and speaking is so common because most English learning environments focus heavily on passive skills. Textbooks, apps, and classes often emphasize reading comprehension, listening exercises, or grammar drills. But how many of them make you speak?
Not enough. And when you don't practice speaking, it's like training for a marathon by only reading about running. You're not building the muscles you need for the actual race.
So let's break down why this gap exists. Reason number one, you're probably not getting enough speaking practice, period.
And honestly, that's not your fault. Think about it. Where do you get the chance to speak English in your daily life? If you're not living in an English-speaking country or surrounded by native speakers, opportunities are slim.
Maybe you're studying English in a classroom where the teacher does most of the talking, or you're using an app that's great for vocab but doesn't ask you to open your mouth. Even when you do get a chance to speak, it's often just repeating phrases or answering textbook questions. Not real, spontaneous conversation.
And let's be real, speaking can feel intimidating. That brings us to reason number two, the fear of making mistakes.
Oh, this is a big one. We've all been there. You're about to say something, but your brain starts overanalyzing. What if I say it wrong? What if they laugh? What if I sound stupid?
That fear is like a mental roadblock. It stops you before you even start. And the longer you hesitate, the harder it gets to open your mouth.
Here's a quick story. I once worked with a student from Italy named Marco. He could understand English movies without subtitles, but when we had conversation practice, he'd freeze. He told me, "Emma, I'm so afraid of messing up the grammar that I just don't say anything." That fear was holding him back more than any lack of vocabulary or skill.
And then there's reason number three, Translating from your native language. This is a sneaky one.
Yep. When you're trying to speak, your brain might be doing this. First, you think of the sentence in your native language. Then, you try to translate it word for word into English, checking grammar rules and searching for the perfect vocabulary. By the time you've done all that mental gymnastics, the conversation has moved on, and you're left feeling frustrated.
It's like trying to run a race while carrying a heavy backpack. You're slowing yourself down with all that extra work.
Exactly. Translation is a crutch that feels safe but actually makes speaking harder. We'll talk later about how to ditch that habit and think directly in English.
Okay, let's get a bit nerdy for a moment. Did you know your brain handles understanding and speaking in totally different ways?
It's fascinating. Scientists have found that language comprehension and language production activate different parts of the brain. The area responsible for understanding, called Wernicke's area, processes what you hear or read. But speaking, that's handled by Broca's area, which controls the motor functions of speech and sentence formation.
So, just because you've trained Wernicke's area to understand English doesn't mean Broca's area is ready to produce it. It's like training your legs to run, but not your arms to lift weights. Different muscles, different skills.
And here's where it gets even more interesting. When you listen to English, you're building your passive vocabulary, words you recognize and understand. But speaking requires your active vocabulary, words you can recall and use instantly in conversation. That's a much smaller subset of words, and it takes specific practice to grow it.
Think about it like a library. Your passive vocabulary is all the books on the shelves. You know they're there. You can find them if you need to. But your active vocabulary, that's the books you can grab with your eyes closed. No hesitation.
And the only way to move more books into that grab instantly category is to practice retrieving them by speaking over and over. All right, enough theory. Let's get to the good stuff. If you're stuck in the I understand but can't speak zone, here are 5 powerful strategies to boost your speaking skills. We call these the speaking boosters.
You don't need a conversation partner to practice speaking. Seriously, just talk to yourself. It's one of the easiest and most effective ways to build fluency.
Try this. Look around your room right now. Describe what you see in English. There's a blue lamp on my desk. The window is open, and I can hear birds outside. Or narrate your day. This morning, I woke up at 7, made coffee, and checked my emails.
You can even make it fun. Pretend you're a YouTuber filming a vlog, or imagine you're ordering food at a cafe or giving a presentation at work. Role-play different scenarios to get your mouth moving.
Here's a pro tip. Record yourself doing this. Use your phone to capture a minute or 2 of you speaking, then listen back. You'll notice things like pronunciation quirks, pauses, or words you struggle with. It's like having a free coach.
And don't worry if it feels awkward at first. Everyone feels silly talking to themselves in the beginning. But the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. It's like warming up before a workout. You're getting your English muscles ready.
This is one of our favorite techniques, and it's so powerful. It's called shadowing, and it's like mimicking a native speaker to train your mouth and ears at the same time.
Here's how it works. Pick a short audio clip, maybe a podcast like ours, a YouTube video, or a scene from your favorite TV show. Play a sentence or 2, pause, and then repeat exactly what the speaker said. Copy their speed, tone, and pronunciation as closely as you can.
It's like being an actor learning lines. You're not just repeating words, you're mimicking the rhythm and flow of natural English. This trains your brain to produce sentences faster and with better pronunciation.
For example, let's say you're shadowing a clip from a sitcom. The character says, "I can't believe you ate the whole pizza." You pause, repeat it, and try to match their energy. "I can't believe you ate the whole pizza." It's fun and it works.
Start with short clips, 5 to 10 minutes a day. Apps like Audible, YouTube, or even our podcast are perfect for this. Over time, you'll notice your fluency improving and your accent getting clearer.
This one's a game changer, but it takes effort. Instead of thinking in your native language and translating, try to think in English from the start.
It's tough at first because your brain defaults to what's comfortable, but you can train it. Start with simple thoughts. For example, instead of thinking in Spanish, quiero agua, and then translating to I want water, just think I want water directly.
Try it with everyday situations. When you're hungry, think, I'm hungry. What should I eat? When you're getting dressed, think, this shirt is blue. I like it. Small moments like these add up.
Here's a trick to make it easier. Narrate your actions in English throughout the day. When you're brushing your teeth, think, I'm brushing my teeth now. When you're walking to the store, think, I'm going to buy some fruit. It's like a mental workout that rewires your brain.
And the more you do this, the less you'll rely on translation. Your sentences will start flowing naturally without that mental delay.
Here's a secret weapon for speaking fluency. Stop focusing on individual words and start learning phrases or chunks of language.
Think about how native speakers talk. We don't say, I am going to the store to buy milk. We say, I'm going to grab some milk from the store. Those chunks like I'm gonna or grab some are pre-built blocks of language.
Learning phrases is like using Lego bricks instead of sculpting from clay. It's faster and easier. For example, memorize phrases like, can you help me with this? Or, I'm not sure, but I think. You can pull them out in conversations without thinking too hard.
A great way to find these phrases is to pay attention to how native speakers talk in movies, podcasts, or social media. Write down the expressions you hear often, like no way or that makes sense. Practice using them in your own sentences.
Apps like Anki or Quizlet are awesome for memorizing phrases. Create flashcards with the phrase on one side and an example sentence on the other. Review them daily, and soon they'll feel like second nature.
Last but not least, make speaking a non-negotiable part of your day. You don't need hours, just 5 to 10 minutes of intentional practice.
Set up a routine that fits your life. Maybe it's a morning mirror talk where you chat to yourself while getting ready, or a lunchtime shadowing session with a podcast, or an evening call with a language partner.
Consistency is key. It's better to practice 5 minutes every day than 2 hours once a week. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't skip it because you're busy, right? Same with speaking English.
And don't wait for the perfect moment. You don't need a native speaker or a fancy class. Use what's around you, your phone, your mirror, your favorite TV show. Every little bit counts.
All right, let's talk about the emotional side of this journey. Because let's be honest, there will be days when you feel stuck, frustrated, or just plain unmotivated.
Totally normal. Motivation isn't about feeling pumped up every single day. It's about showing up even when you're tired, busy, or doubting yourself.
One way to stay motivated is to celebrate the small wins. Maybe today you managed to say a full sentence without hesitating, or you used a new phrase in a conversation. That's progress, and it deserves a mental high five.
Another tip, keep a language journal. Every day, write down one thing you did to practice speaking, whether it's shadowing a video, talking to yourself, or chatting with a friend. Seeing your efforts add up can be super encouraging.
And don't compare yourself to others. Your friend might sound fluent after 6 months, but everyone's journey is different. Focus on your progress, not someone else's highlight reel.
Think of language learning like planting a tree. You water it daily, even when you don't see growth right away. One day you'll look up and realize it's tall and strong, and that's because you kept showing up.
Before we move on, let's bust some myths that might be tripping you up.
Myth 1, I need to speak perfectly. Nope, perfection is overrated. Your goal is to be understood, not to sound like a robot from a grammar textbook. Native speakers make mistakes all the time, slang, and more slang.
Myth 2. I need to sound like a native speaker. Wrong again. Your accent is part of who you are. It's your story, your culture. Focus on clarity, not erasing your unique voice. People love hearing accents. It makes you interesting.
Myth 3. I'll never be fluent. This one's the worst because it makes you want to give up. Fluency isn't a finish line. It's a spectrum. Every step you take, every sentence you speak, gets you closer to expressing yourself freely.
And here's a bonus myth I'm too old to learn. Age is just a number. Studies show adults can learn languages just as effectively as kids. They just need the right strategies and mindset.
Let's get personal for a moment. Leo, tell us about your language learning struggles.
Oh man, where do I start? When I was learning French, I could watch French movies and understand most of it. But when I tried to speak, disaster. I'd freeze up, stumble over words, and feel like an idiot. I remember this one time at a cafe in Paris, I tried to order a croissant and accidentally asked for a cross-ant. The waiter just stared at me.
Haha, I feel you. When I started learning Spanish, I was the same. I could read articles and follow conversations, but speaking? My mouth was like, nope, not today. I'd get so nervous that I'd forget even basic words like hola. One time I was trying to ask for directions in Madrid, and I ended up saying something like, "Where's the street go?" Total cringe.
But here's the thing, we didn't give up. We kept practicing, even when it felt awkward. I started talking to myself in French while cooking dinner. I'd narrate everything. Okay, I'm chopping onions now. This is a knife. It was silly, but it helped.
Same here. I joined a language exchange group online and forced myself to speak, even when I wasn't ready. At first, I was terrible. Lots of ums and long pauses. But over time, I got more comfortable. Not perfect, not native, but confident enough to have real conversations.
And that's what we want for you. You don't need to be flawless. You just need to start, keep going, and trust that you'll get better.
So how do you find opportunities to practice speaking in real life? Look around you. There are more possibilities than you think.
Start with your immediate circle. Is there a friend, coworker, or classmate who also wants to practice English? Set up a weekly coffee chat where you only speak English, even if it's just for 10 minutes.
If you don't have anyone nearby, go online. Apps like HelloTalk, Tandem, or Speaky connect you with language partners around the world. You can voice chat, text, or even send voice messages to practice.
And don't sleep on local opportunities. Check if your city has English conversation meetups or language clubs. Websites like meetup.com or even local libraries often host these. I know a learner in Tokyo who joined an English cafe group and went from shy to leading discussions in just a few months.
You can also create mini opportunities in your daily life. For example, read comments on YouTube videos out loud to practice pronunciation, or write a short response to a post on social media, then read it aloud before posting. These small actions build your speaking muscles.
And if you're feeling bold, try talking to strangers in low-stakes settings. Like, if you're traveling, ask a shop clerk, "Do you speak English?" and see where the conversation goes. Most people are happy to help, and it's great practice.
Let's wrap this up with the most important piece of the puzzle, your mindset.
If you believe you need to be perfect to speak, you'll stay silent forever. But if you see every mistake as a step toward fluency, you'll grow faster than you ever thought possible.
Here's a mindset shift that changed everything for me. Treat speaking like an experiment. Every time you open your mouth, you're testing a hypothesis. If it goes well, awesome. If it flops, you've learned something new. Either way, you win.
And laugh at yourself. Seriously. When I mispronounced croissant in Paris, I could have died of embarrassment, but instead I laughed, the waiter laughed, and it became a funny memory. Mistakes are just stories you'll tell later.
So speak, stumble, try again. Celebrate every effort, because each word you say is a victory. Confidence doesn't come before action, it comes because of action.
Wow, we covered a lot today. That was our deep dive into why you understand English but can't speak.
We hope you're walking away with a clear understanding of why this happens, plus some practical tools to start speaking with confidence. You're not stuck. You're just at the beginning of an exciting journey.
If you love this episode, please follow the English Journey podcast, share it with a friend who's also learning English, and drop us a comment or question. We read every single one, and we love hearing your stories.
You can find us on all major platforms, and we're also active on social media. Check the show notes for links. Let us know how you're putting these tips into action.
Until next time, keep learning, keep speaking, and most importantly, believe in yourself. You've got this.
Bye!